So it has to be approached from multifarious perspectives, and I'll try to add to a little more different perspective onto this. But before I do that, I must at the outset thank SKOCH Foundation and Mr. Kocher, a true inspiration for youngsters like me, and I'm sure all of us assembled out here. And Mr. Limai and some of us joined a little late. The kind of story which we heard from Mr. Dhanjal about Mr. Samir Kocher, I think every time I meet Mr. Kocher, I carry an added sense of inspiration. So indeed, thanks for this wonderful opportunity. I think we have to drill down the discussion which we have from both macro and micro perspectives. And at macro level, I agree to the views expressed by the fellow panelists in terms of the infrastructural issues, in terms of the banking issues. Bond market is still in evolutionary stage, and funding has to be a potent combination of debt and equity. And often we see cases of fatal failures because of the over reliance on any of the instruments, be it equity or debt. But the real problem is a lot of projects do not get that potent mix of funds, and India needs to have variety of products, variety of instruments suiting to projects at various levels. And there's a lot of I think ground level work needs to be done in terms of financial awareness, in terms of financial inclusion. And we think of jobs. I think we need to also talk about the smaller projects, the emerging businesses, because if we lay our quick attention on little facts, as per government MSME department, 48 million, close to 5 crore units are MSME, and they are like providing jobs to at least 60 million people every year. So this is a sector which is adding on to the jobs, and since we are discussing on how do we create jobs, I think taking little micro, these are the sector which is by and large kind of needs to be more prioritized. And in 2010, Prime Minister Task Force was constituted to discuss how India can get on to the next level. And one of the fundamental recommendation was that we need to have alternate capital market space for this sector. And then of course exchanges has taken lead, and alternate capital marketplace was set up in 2012. And it's interesting to note that till now we have got more than 300 such units getting listed on stock exchanges. And very interestingly, some of the quick facts to share, more than 50% of these companies which have come and got listed on stock marketplace, they have turnover as less as 50 crores. And more than 30% of the companies listed, close to more than 100 companies that have got listed, the turnover is even less than 20 crores. So there's a new ray of hope which we are witnessing in smaller emerging businesses with turnover of, let's say, 20 crore, 50 crore, 100 crore. And I can say with full conviction, being closely involved in this space, that the businesses have grown phenomenally. They have kind of got onto a very speedy growth trajectory. They have preponed their growth cycle, and with growth funds, besides the banks and private money at initial point of inflection at business life cycle, they have kind of it's very common to come across the companies with, let's say, 20-50 crores of turnover getting on to 100% growth for, let's say, next 3 to 5 years post listing. And that's I must compliment the hand-holding being done by stock exchanges and all the constituents of eco marketplace. So I think we are having 300 companies cumulatively raising 3,000 crores, and if 1% of these companies can be brought to this market, the results and the outcome will be kind of phenomenal. And I personally believe that this is the sector which can even surpass mainboard in terms of market capitalization, in terms of job creation, and it will kind of give India to that next level platform in all respect, including the larger enterprises in making which will emerge out of this space. So besides those, large projects, funding, infrastructural issues, I think more attention, or equally, equal attention needs to be given to this space, and thereby perhaps we can have inclusive growth kind of, achieved for laying a foundation for a true, new India with kind of, prosperity across sectors.